Hey everybody, Cindy over at paper.old.new. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me today. We are working on Tina's mask makes. Before we get started, I wanted to say once again, thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you who has been with me for the long haul or who's just found my channel and decided to click that subscribe button. I hope that more of you who stumble in here might also enjoy what you're seeing, which is me mucking about. But if you do, please do subscribe and join in the crazy. I am working on, as I said, Tina's mask makes. I am doing a 100 days challenge if you are new here. I'm on my day 67. Tina does her mask makes. She does one a week for 100 weeks and then she starts over. I think she's in her third run. They're very popular. Everybody enjoys them. There's actually a lot of really cool, and she will tell you herself, simple, because she does not like overly complicated projects that dress up your journals. So I am trying to get through all of her mask makes in 100 days. Just an update if any of you happen to be new. For those of you who already knew that, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I, every once in a while I like to give an update for anybody who happens to stop by who hasn't been following the whole time. We are, like I said, on day 67, and day 67 for, or week 67 for Tina was, she calls them lace double belly bands or double lace belly bands, something like that. Basically what this is going to be is a wraparound belly band. So it'll be a belly band on one side of a page and it'll wrap around and be a belly band on the other side of the page. And what I'm going to use for mine is file folder. So first we're going to cut this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to cut it to about 5 3/4. Most of my pages are about 5 3/4. They tend to be, what do you call? My covers tend to be 6 by 9 or thereabouts. So my pages end up being just inside that. And that one just does not want to come away from there. Okay. You could probably use these as well. So letting nothing go to waste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4. So you could fold these in half and use them as well. This is just already folded in half, and what I would probably do is, well, what I might do is trim that base up so that it's even all the way across, but you don't have to. We're going to be covering these in lace. So, I mean, so maybe I take this tab off of here so that the whole thing is the same all the way across. And then for this one, and they can be as wide or as narrow as you want them to be. So, and then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some bands. So I already have the fold in the file folder, and I've made it so that each of my sides is 5 3/4. I want to say the video I watched of Tina's, she already had her bands done. So I think she just made them out of cardstock. I grabbed the file folder because it's already folded. Not that that's a hard step, but I mean, I feel like it's a good use for these just because I have a stack of them over here and I haven't used them for anything else, so why not? Now, I will say this. Her cardstock that she used was white, so mine is probably going to be, I don't know, the manila, creamy, whatever color you want to call this, may show through. It's like right up there at the edge that it doesn't want to cut loose. Okay, and then we'll just cut this one in half. How wide is it? So, yeah, so whatever you can use that you think will stand up to holding the weight of, oops, the layered lace. Well, that came out okay. This, on the other hand, well, I don't know how straight these actually have to be. Okay. So that takes care of that. I'm going to put my ruler away and my cutter away. I'm not going to need those anymore. Now, basically what you do is take it, keep it folded in half. Because remember what I said, this is going to wrap around a page. And when we're done, I have a page here that we can look at one on. And basically all you're going to do is take your lace and you're going to cut scraps. I have pieces here that I've been cutting. I've just been cutting pieces off of. So like that. And I mean, all these fuzzies, you can trim them or not. These are a little bit too much fluffy. My opinion. So I cut those off. And she just sat and cut some of her lace strips into pieces like this that you might fit onto this piece of folder that I've got. Okay, and you can add color, you can add, you know, different textures of lace. I've got this one here. I might do it in 2s. I might do it in 3s. I cut off 1. I mean, it's, you know, I cut 1 in half. I mean, it's whatever you want to do with it. You know, and you can put it on sideways. It doesn't all have to go all the way across. A few of those off of there. Okay, well, let's get started then. So basically what you do is you take some lace that you might want to start with. So like maybe I want to put this down here. Okay. Have it hanging off a little bit so the flowers hang down. See, and you're just layering it up. All right, and as far as sideways, you might want to put a piece on there like that. Let's see. And you just keep layering until you get it to look the way you want it to. I might actually move this over here. And you make them really like fluffy, and you build them up, and I feel like these are a ton of fun as far as like, okay, let's get some of this stuff down so I'm not being all crazy with it. And you might even want to put like I have this gauze. I don't remember what this is from, but I might want to take this and just put it down on the surface like this to have as a base. Not that that does anything, but I'm connecting fabric to fabric, kind of. I don't know, I'm winging it, guys. This is kind of I've never done anything like this before, but I mean, she didn't make it look hard. You just put it on there however you think it looks good. Okay. Maybe I'll stick this here. So I'll put some glue down and stick this down in it like that. Make sure that's not the folded end. I don't care if stuff sticks out. Actually, that's the end that goes into the Might not be able to have that there now that I think about it. I wasn't thinking. Okay, so you don't want anything hanging off too far. This is what's going to go into the spine of your book, right? So when you fold it around the end of a page, this part will be in the spine of your book. So just keep that in mind when you're gluing stuff down. I wasn't keeping that in mind. All right, let's put glue back on here. Put a piece of lace on top of that. Top and bottom it can hang over. That's not a big deal. And then maybe I'll put this down this end. Okay. I'm just using Fabri-Tac for this because it's, I mean, it's lace, so. Of course, my hands are going to get gross, and I think I buried my rag in all my lace. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Goodness gracious. All right. Okay, and then maybe we do, what else have I got up here? I'm trying to do all kinds of textures, so I'm like, I don't want to necessarily put the same thing in the same area twice. I suppose you could bunch it up. Of course, it's hard to get it to stick when you do that. I might use glue, like actual hot glue for this piece. Okay. See, we got all kinds of little lacy frilly things sticking down over there. All right. Okay, okay. Pretty good, pretty good. Let me get this. Okay. Kind of getting the idea here. I don't know. I need another piece of something to go right here, but I don't want to like reuse something I've already used. Although I suppose it doesn't really matter. What I should say is I don't want to reuse something I've already used right next to itself. Mine is looking very shabby, we'll say that. I guess that's the idea, so I'm not too concerned, but it's definitely looking shabby. Okay, and I can still see the folder through there, so I don't know if that detracts or... So we got our snow, and I took my son to work this morning, and it's a mess out there. And they've done some cleaning on some of the roads, so it's not too bad in some places, but it's kind of a mess. I also have stuff like this. I'm wondering if I should... Wouldn't necessarily want it to be curved like that, though. Could I use this in pieces? have to go this side. Yeah, so we had the snow. Now we're waiting for the Arctic weather to start tonight. It's supposed to be, we're supposed to get negatives soon. And I know some of you people who live in more northern climes than I are probably like, oh, golly. Yeah, I don't consider myself a cold person. I'm not, I don't like the cold is what I mean. I'm not a big, I would like to live in a place where I don't have to own lots of coats, and very rarely run a heater. Certainly don't have to have a wood stove. Just getting too old to keep up with it, if I'm honest. Okay. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit of color to these, you could take a lace like this and add it in. Like maybe we could add some blue to this one. I don't know. I'm wondering if I should just do a neutral and let it be neutral. Because we still have to cover the other side. I can still see a glue line there. That's what's bugging me. So yeah, I'm just not a cold weather person. I mean, I grew up dealing with probably, I guess you'd say, Central East Coast weather. So I mean, I grew up having to deal with, you know, snow and stuff like that. I just, okay. Now we turn it over and see what we can do with the other side. So, yeah, see, this will stick out of the book, which I think is kind of fun. That piece is too small. I mean, big. I thought I cut one. Did I cut one shorter than that? Well, maybe I should go for something different then. How about this? Maybe I just didn't take off as much as I thought. And I feel like you could do this with just about anything. I mean, if you wanted to, like, layer up that's not gonna work. If you wanted to layer up ribbons or, you know, anything you wanted to do this with, I feel like you could. I will say, having this being my first time doing it, they kind of throw me for a loop on the layering thing. But, I mean, it's not so awfully bad that I can't can't do it. I just might want something. Since you're going to leak. We get this whole side over here all dolled up. Oh, wait. Make sure I glue on the right side. These appliques definitely have a back and a front. I mean, there's some stuff that people say, oh, it has a back and a front. I'm like, yeah, but does it really matter? But I think the appliques, it definitely is a thing. I might reuse some of this from the other side, but maybe I'll put it over some other stuff so it's more. I'm trying to decide. You keep seeing me switch back and forth between glues. I'm trying to decide which one I like better for this. And I think it depends on what I'm gluing down, if I'm honest. It certainly doesn't depend on how much it gets on my fingers, because that's yuck. All right. How about a piece of this right here? And I feel like I definitely do, like, I pay attention to a top and a bottom almost. So I don't know how that's going to work out when I go to, I don't want that over, I want it over here. I don't want it over the applique thing. Okay. I don't know how that's going to work out when I go to, like, use the piece. But right now, it's, I'm almost using these as, like, liner pieces. So, anybody see any good movies lately? I have not. Okay. I did watch some more Criminal Minds with my son last night. We saw, I don't know if anybody followed the Criminal Minds series or still following it. I mean, they resurrected it, so to speak. So, yeah. But last night we watched the episode called The Fisher King. I love that episode. It's one of my favorites. Okay, now we're going to put this one here, I think. Just like that. Over top. My glue is still, I stood it up so that it wouldn't ooze, and it's in true Fabri-Tac under pressure form, it's oozing out the top. It's like it needs a pressure release valve or something. Okay. I don't think I used a piece of this. I'm thinking I'll use a piece right up here. Is there enough glue coming through that I can just... Ooh, hot. Okay. So, I glue it shut. Or is that not the open? This is the open end. All right. And you can see it like bunches up right there because I did a lot of overhanging. But when you stick it on a page, you would stick it on like that. Oh, and mine is still too wide. Wait, how wide is this page? 5.5. That seems like more than a 5.5 inch overhang. Anyway, I mean, the other thing she said is you can always cut this down. If like yesterday when we were making scrap strips or edge strips, and I would cut them down and I would save the little ends that I tore off that were big enough to save to use as cluster bases. If I had to cut a big enough chunk of this off of here, I would keep this because you could use it again as the base of a cluster. So depending on what book I was going to put this in, if I had to cut it, I would just cut it and use the keep the piece. All right, so that's that one. Let's see, how long did that take me? Whoa, all right. We might not get very many of these made. I brought down an awful lot of stuff for not getting a lot made. Let's get another strip, and maybe we'll do something. Oh, this one's wide. I don't know if I want to do a wide one. Although I could start with a piece of something like this on the base. All the way across there. All right, and we might do a piece on the back, so. All right, I'm just gonna lay this in the glue. All right, it's a good start, I think. We'll see, I guess. I was thinking maybe I would pull out some of my purple stuff and we'd make kind of a purple one. So I've got all kinds of purple stuff here. Oh, I just found more crocheted stuff. I love the crocheted stuff. Okay. Find an end. Take off a piece of this. This stuff is a mess. I think she did, when she did her ones with color in them, she did a mix of like the colored lace and the white laces. So we might do the same, but I have to see. I've got this stuff. Might throw some more pink in there. I mean, I brought a ton of stuff with me because you know me, guys. I always get overly ambitious with this stuff. And I end up with way more than I'm ever going to use. But the nice thing about it is now if I'm doing other crafts and I need to decorate stuff, all this lace is down here. The problem is I don't have any place to put it. So yeah, it's down here, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we're going to do like this. Oh, it's going to be really gluey at the top. Okay, so have you guys been, I don't know, what have you guys been up to? Anything exciting? Today is Monday. Here in the US, it's Inauguration Day. So there's a lot going on. And then it's also, well, it got real snowy. I was able to go out this morning and take my son to work because he can't, I mean, the roads are kind of still got some icy spots and all this kind of, he can't use his scooter to go to work in this kind of weather. So I take him to work. Well, the roads were kind of messy in places. Not all the roads are clear. Some are more clear than others. And tomorrow we still have the co-op thing. Well, of course, I waited till the last minute again. I will say this, my kids get their procrastinating nature, honestly. I'm definitely a procrastinator. I try not to let them use it as an excuse, but that doesn't mean I'm not completely and totally aware that they get it honestly. Ooh, let's see, what can we do with this? Helps if you cut it all the way apart. I might put a little hot glue on here. This is a heavier crochet. It's definitely newer. This is not old crochet. This is new crochet. So, nothing aged or old about that. Now everything is over in that corner. I'll save this for the back. I got to start beefing this side up. Let's use some of this. Well, maybe. There we go. And then we'll take it in half here. Am I still even... Guys, I'm not even gonna... I don't want to talk about it. I know that's my answer for everything these days, but... So yeah, I have to... One of the things I have to do tonight is get that class ready. We gotta have another day of teaching small people logic. Which means I'm going to find a fun logic puzzle, and I'm going to gear my class around that puzzle. It's about how I've decided this is going to work. Okay, we're going to get a piece of this. Where is my scissors? I don't know if this has a back and front or not. I'm going to glue across this line right here, and then we're going to stick it down, and it's going to be what it is. This one's very purple. What do we think? I haven't decided. I'm up in the air as to whether or not I'm a huge fan. I was looking for... Nope. Okay. No more over here. So do I want to add in some... I don't know. I'm not sure what else to put on this side. A piece of this with little flowers in it. I feel like it needs to be up here. And I also feel like it's too wide. I just want the lacy flowery bits. I love the way leaving stuff behind on fabric is so hard. Like, when you're trying to put glue on fabric, it's like difficult. Oh my goodness, it does not want to stay down there. It's okay, you can do it. I believe in you. Now, like I said, you could get ribbon and stuff out to go on this. You could, especially if you've got like lacy ribbons. I mean, I don't see anything like right off. My ribbon drawer is right down there. So I peek in the side of it every once in a while. It's open, and I just look in there and see if I see anything that catches my eye. All right, I don't know. No. I think I'll flip it over, and we'll see about the other side for now. Maybe I do this side with... I feel like these crafts are getting more and more concentrate-y for me. Like, I get real quiet. I notice it when I'm editing. There's like gaps in my video where I'm like not talking. I'm like, wow, they're probably loving this. So, I apologize for all of my quiet. Ow. Ow. This is the second time I burned my fingers today. One was on hot coals in my wood stove. And I just stuck hot glue on my finger. Okay. Okay. I'm going to get some base pieces down so I can kind of cover up. I will say, I think the white, I don't know if the white works better. I feel like this manila would work okay. You might think about inking it first to knock back some of the new brightness of the manila color. But I don't think these are not usable. I feel like this is usable for this. Let's put a piece of this on there. Actually, yeah, we could do that and then, ow. I don't think it goes over that far. I'm not really sure why I did that. I did it again. I am burning the snot out of myself today. I quit, guys. I quit. Ow. Oh. Like awful. Okay. I was thinking about putting... Ooh. Okay. I had asked you guys about movies and I said I watched Criminal Minds. If anybody watches Criminal Minds, The Fisher King is the 2-part episode that goes between the first season and the second season. It's the episode that kind of drives Elle off the rails and is like the beginning of the end of her career. I guess you could kind of mark it like that. So I can't say that I minded to. She wasn't one of my favorite characters. So I wasn't. I like to try to tie the two sides together. So next will be some of this. I lose the end again. I'm always losing the ends. Okay, we'll put a piece. That's my end. Okay. All right, I'm going to try putting it on the fabric. This works sometimes, and sometimes I can't seem to get enough on there, or it doesn't really make a difference either way. I suppose it doesn't make a difference either way where you start the glue. It's just however you find it easier to apply, I guess. I will say gluing layers of fabric together is definitely especially lace, because it's all holes. I mean, you're basically gluing holes together. Not really sure how else to put it. All right, I'm going to tear a piece of this at the edge. I don't think this tears though. No, it doesn't. Okay. Maybe put it up here. I kind of don't want it to be... I feel like some of this going all the same direction is part of the reason Tina had pieces going up and down, which I should probably add more up and down pieces. Don't have a lot of pink on this side. Maybe I could do... Oh, you know what? I buried a lot of this. Maybe I could just... It's not long enough unless I use a wider piece, so we're gonna make it longer. Well, I think I'm gonna cut... I'm gonna make it thinner. So I'm gonna cut this top part off. Put it up like that, or up like that. I feel like where I need a piece is right here in the middle. But I suppose that could also be where I decorate it. So I'm about to need another glue stick. Would make this a good time to stop and decorate. Okay, so let's look at decorating one of these, because these take me, oh my gosh, 45 minutes. I don't know if that's what it'll be when you see it edited. So I'm saying 45 minutes and you might look at the clock and go, it hasn't been 45 minutes. That will be because I cut some of it out. It took me 45 minutes to do 2 of these. So these are another time-consuming project. I do not complain about time-consuming projects. I just like to let you know so that when you get into the project, you understand that you're going to be sitting and doing this for a considerable period of time. How did I lose a pin to that? I know I had a pin in that. There we go. Just so that you know, you need to get your materials together and sit down and plan to spend a decent amount of time on this particular project. Now, as far as decorating these go, this is a good place to use fluffy things and ribbons and a wrong box. See, fluffy things. No, that's too big. See, I could put a big old white flower in the middle of there. I probably wouldn't put it in the middle. It's pretty though, isn't it? It makes me want to write all my flowers. I've been sorting my fabric flowers, so they're all upstairs. I have this one rose on the ground. Pull it apart and make some. It makes like these 4, 5 petal flower. They're glued together so that it'll stay in the like bud shape. Yeah. I don't know if these are going to be good for this or not. I don't mind it on there. I think it adds to the kind of shabby nature of it. Although I will say I'm wondering if this is the side I need the big one on. That one came apart better. I can put the small one over here. Down in this area. I need to get some buttons. Or at the very least something for the center of my flowers. Something like this might be better on something like this. See, isn't that's gorgeous. Or over here. Or even on this side. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It kind of goes anywhere. I wish those would lay down. Like, not fully lay down, but... Okay, I glue that on there because I like that there. Now, obviously, this is going to add bulk. So whatever journal you're putting this in, this is very thick flour. So whatever journal I put this in is going to have a bulky spot right where this flower is. Luckily, oh no, that's toward the inside. So that's toward the inside of the page. I was going to say, luckily, it's toward the outside of the page, so it's where the book opens anyway. But it's not. I'm looking for something that I want to do in like a creamy color. I don't know if you guys remember during one of my hauls, I had all of these I happened to open one of those bags, and it had bags and bags and bags of these little ribbon flowers that people had, satin flowers and things that somebody had made, and they had boxed them all up, or somebody had boxed them all up to get rid of them. So there was a ton of them in there. Add this over here. Okay. There we go. This one's very neutral. So very nice on that one. Okay, I'm only going to decorate one side. So let me see if I've got a button that I could use for this. I'm going to put these away because I don't really have anything the right color. Or at least not as far as I'm concerned, is it the right color? I suppose I could use one of these. Although that's going to be a lot of hanging stuff. Alright, so we're going to put that away. Alright, got a few buttons here. Let's see what we want, what we like. I was thinking, because I've got so much, there's not a lot of padding in this one. This has a little nub on the back. I was thinking that since I have padding here for this to go in, but it still sits up too high, so that's probably not going to be the piece I use. The other thing I was thinking was I could stick this wooden button in here and then stick this kind of variegated purple one on top of it. Again, it's got something in it. Although that looks like wire that I can probably get out. Not with that. See if I can add stabbing myself to my list of injuries today. Just did it. Stabbed myself. Like that. Okay, let's see where... Okay, this is on the fold, so this is more toward the outside. Alright. Let's use this flower. It seems to be a little more clean. Well, except for that. Maybe I'll glue it. Yeah, maybe we'll glue it upside down. That might be a better idea. Okay. I glue it on there like that. And then I glue the buttons in it. Okay, guys. I know I said I was only going to decorate one side, but I have this urge to flip this over and stick the big flower on the other side. Which is the right way. I think I had it this way. Yeah. And then I wanted to stick this flower here. I was going to stick this big purple button in the middle. Again, maybe I should do it upside down. Okay, and then we put this big purple guy in there. All right. So that's that one. And then you take it and you put it on your page. So if this is one page, which it isn't, it's folded, but then you would stick it on there like that. And it would be a belly band. I mean, how much fun is that? They're actually really cool. I mean, not for nothing, they're kind of neat. Although if I had to trim this, well, if I had to trim this one, I could trim underneath this because I didn't lay this end down, so I could trim some of this off. Because this one is a little too, they're a little too long. So I might have to start considering, because, I mean, let's be honest, we fold copy paper, which is 8.5 by 11, in half, and you get a 5.5 inch page. So if I'm honest, these need to be about 5.5 inches. Maybe a little under 5.5, but there you go, guys. So that's the idea between the double belly band lace, double lace belly bands. I only got 2 made. I think she gets a whole bunch made. I think this is a really cool idea, and I think that I would definitely want to make some of these to have to grab. This is another one, just like the, what was the thing I did the other day that I said I would probably sit and do upstairs? Tassels. Just get out all my tassel materials and just sit upstairs and cut strips and put them together and tie them. This is another one. I would sit upstairs with all my lace scraps and just sit there and glue it to whatever cardstock I'm using and make a bunch of these to have sitting for a rainy day, so to speak. And yeah, I mean, they make really pretty additions to a journal. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you end up sticking it in there. They're not really directional. So unless you put something on there that's directional, you know, I mean, these were a lot of fun. So definitely grab a bunch of lace scraps and sit down and give at least one of these a try and see if you like it. And I will see you guys tomorrow with day 68. Bye-bye.